Hi. Welcome to episode whatever of We Can't Code.
The hangover portion.
Yep. God, today sucks.
Just no.
We're recording this late. It's probably not coming out today. I don't know.
It's not.
I'll get it up on the SoundCloud and all that other crap. Not YouTube. Not for...
This is episode 18. If you don't know who we are, why did you even start this one? Just why?
This is the depression episode.
We talk about shit we don't know. And we bitch and moan. Mm-hmm. I'm Michael.
I'm Ben.
Welcome to the podcast.
Whoop, whoop. Now I get to do the stupid shit.
So, as we do as usual, we talk about what we did this week. Ben, what'd you do this week?
No, you go first. I forgot to write this part out. I have a schedule in front of me, and I totally forgot the first part. So you go, and I'll figure out what the hell I did.
This week, I'm on the road again for some training for work, and my mouse died. So I can't really do much computer gaming, but I've been playing with my Switch.
This is a video game podcast. By the way, we don't have time to play games these days.
No, it's just like I have time to play. It's like I have plenty of time, so I'm just playing my Switch though because I can't play. Because last podcast we talked about how I got onto the early alpha for Hunt.
Yeah.
Sadly, I can't play because my mouse is not working, and I tried playing it before I left. The servers were down though. You have to you actually hire hunters, and so if that hunter dies, you have to get another one. You use money to get them, and so
DLC.
Yeah,
no,
it's like they get certain tiers, and so the higher tier, the more they cost, and it's money you earn in game, but they start you off like a tier 0 if you have no money. And so I found out, though, is that you bring in equipment with you and all that stuff, but if you die in the game, you lose all the equipment you bring in with you. But it seems like it's pretty easy to buy, though, so it's not that big of a loss. But you still can't just be careless in the game. But, yeah, so I couldn't play that, so I've been playing a game that I bought, Tiny Metal. It's sort of like Advance Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a letdown so far.
It looks cool. That sucks.
Yeah, I mean, It's not completely bad, but it's not really good either. All of the voices are in Japanese for the story, which I really don't care for. It's like, the world was attacked with this. It's not Earth. It's like a different type of planet, but there's been like this.
Is it Venus?
I don't know.
Is it Mercury?
It's different countries and all that stuff.
Is it Uranus?
Yes, it is. It's pretty much my anus because it is ass. But the story is like you're a peaceful nation, then all of a sudden, you're a peaceful nation that's always being attacked because land is always fought for, because the world is kind of covered with this type of radiation that cuts down like your vision. So that's why there's a fog of war. So that's how they explain fog of war in the game, because you can't see the whole entire map. You can see maybe 3 blocks ahead your units, which is, I kind of liked in the Advance Wars that wasn't in the game at all, which was nice. Except for some levels, like if there was like a high windstorm or something like that. So I'm not a real fan of the Fog of War. There is some interesting combat maneuvers you can do, like you can have one unit lock on, and then you can have another unit come up and then do focus fire, which means that they both attack at the same time. So that means there's less of a chance that you can have retaliations from the enemies because you kill them all completely then. Because it works in Advance Wars, you attack, then they attack. But unless you do a charge, which then pushes them off their tile and moves your guy on it, so that actually, but when you do that, they attack first, and then your unit attacks. But no matter what, no matter how much damage you do, as long as your unit survives, you still push them off whatever they're on, and then your unit that did it takes over that spot, which is pretty interesting. It adds a new game to the thing. But the vehicles are pretty boring, and I just learned that I just got a point where you can get hero characters and vehicles, and you summon those to the battlefield by getting you get onto a radar thing, and then you have to have a unit in a radar building, and then you can drop them anywhere in the battlefield that you have you have a certain distance you can plant them from the radar where you summon them from. They're a little bit more powerful characters. Nothing really interesting though. The game design's good. What's kind of funny though is that in story all the characters speak Japanese, but in game with their little dialogues they speak American. I'm like, okay. Like, couldn't you just afford those guys a little bit more just to read the dialogue? Because it's like there's not really much to the story at all. I've been actually fast forwarding it mostly now. I'm like, fuck this. Just give me to the gameplay, because the gameplay is not completely bad, but it's more of a letdown.
Yeah, why would you play that game for? I mean, it's nice that the story's in there, I guess, but
yeah, you're just trying to find out if your your leader or general is still alive, and so you're just searching, and it's like it seems so obvious too, because it's just like, oh, and it was like shown in these records that this other nation did it, and like the other nation's like, no, we didn't. There's no proof to it, and then like. There's like, it's obvious that they obviously didn't do it, and it's probably gonna be someone from your own nation who did it to start the war and all that stuff. Another war, so it seems pretty stupid.
Spoilers.
Well, I mean, it's just like, that's my own assumption. Yeah. And then there's random characters. There's a fucking clown all of a sudden. I don't know why he's a clown, but he's in a military uniform. I skipped through his dialogue. I just saw it for like, because you can fast forward through the dialogue, so you see everyone go, and all of a sudden a clown just showed up. I'm never like, okay, there's a clown now. Like, yeah. I should have been paying attention, but I care less now, just because there's a clown now in the story.
It's just like, I don't know. I kind of mentioned this in the last podcast or the one before that or something, but like, anime and Japanese crap, it's just like, let's just do the weirdest fucking thing we can think of, and it'll get a cult following, because whatever.
Because it's weird, and everyone likes being weird nowadays. It's like, let's just keep it normal. It doesn't seem like there's no special moves, which is sad, and there's no like real special character units. It's just like, oh, these characters are just hero units. I'm like, oh, okay, so I don't have my own special abilities and all that stuff. So that's kind of lame. The game graphics are good though; they're not bad. But yeah, it's like, okay, it's not really a hard game either. It's very easy. So far, I've done like 6 levels, and I only had 1 unit die so far.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like, okay. But that's all I've actually been playing so far is just Tiny Metal. Like, I was gonna play more Super Hot, but like I said, my mouse broke, so it kind of just comes. My mouse is like comes and goes randomly, and I made sure that it wasn't my ports that were bad. Thankfully, they're not. Well, actually, if they were, I can send in and they'll probably give me a new laptop. But no. So I've been just playing Tiny Metal. Haven't really watched any movies lately either this week. Just really going to bars with coworkers and getting drunk. So, and playing Tiny Metal.
The life.
Yep.
I've been, let's see. I played 2 games. I need to start wrapping around back to Zelda or something, but,
oh yeah, I bought, I actually forgot to mention, I actually bought, Zelda Breath of the Wild, too, yesterday.
Sweet, man.
So I'm really excited to play that now.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I'm going to finish Tiny Metal still. I don't think the campaign's going to be that long. So, but I'm going to be definitely playing in between Breath of the Wild.
I was thinking about getting a strategy guide for Breath of the Wild. There's so much going on.
I mean, didn't it come with your expansion pack with that guide and all?
The Explorer's Edition comes with the finest of literature.
It gave you, like, no useful tips at all?
Yeah, so it was like, the useful tip was, give us more money and buy the DLC. And the useful tip was like, have you tried eating food? Oh, no, I haven't done that.
Really?
Is that important to do? Do I have to eat?
It's like, I thought that was just a small gimmick in the beginning of the game.
It's crazy, man. So yeah, I keep, I've been kind of on like a break from Zelda, but I'd like to get back into it soon here. In terms of what I actually did play, I played Night in the Woods.
How's that going?
It's all right. It's not as great as I thought it would be. I didn't expect it to be super fast paced or anything, but
it's pretty damn slow.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of. I mean, I kind of wanted it to be that like more experiential and. I don't know, people call it like walking simulator where there's not a lot that goes on and you just kind of like hear a story, which I think kind of undersells the whole genre. I think that genre deserves a title more fitting than walking simulator because some of them are really good.
I think it's mostly given to the really bad ones though.
Yeah.
I don't think it's meant for like in the woods or games that actually develop something that's really good, that have a nice art style that actually matches the story and all that, and it has actually a good story.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, I remember people were talking about that game Firewatch as a walking simulator, but I heard that one was great. And
yeah, I heard good things about it too. But I'm not really into those games. Like I can never get through them. I need some type of like actual action to play.
Yeah, and so this game, it's Night in the Woods. You play as I mentioned this last week, but it's kind of like Zootopia. Like all these animals, they just kind of like act as humans and commingle and stuff and whatever.
Fucking furries.
And it follows this girl that drops out of college and comes back home, and everyone is just kind of hanging out doing the same shit. And like it's supposed to appeal to kind of that mid-age, 20s-ish market of just like, I don't know what I'm doing with my life, whatever. But there's a lot of the things that you do day to day, like they set up events for you to do each day, so it's not. So there's always like something to differentiate.
To do.
Yeah. So it just like separates one day from another. But a lot of this stuff, for the most part, really isn't that interesting. Like, I mean, not that I was expecting to be like, vandalizing walls and shit like that, but it just seems like for the one thing that's like, I don't know, a learning experience out of that whole day, it just is like a lot of talking and a lot of back and forthness and stuff. And I get that they're trying to paint a picture, but yeah, it is just really slow. I don't want to come across as one of those guys that hates those games. I typically really like them, but this one really, really drags its feet. So we'll see. I've heard it's 8 hours, and also there was some free DLC or something that came out recently
that's nice.
In December. So, like, I'm thinking it might be longer, and if that's the case, I'm not sure if I can stick with it. It just sounds like a lot.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't like it, it's like, well, I mean, we were technically trying to be like a reviewing, we try to be people who review games, but if it's that bad, there's other games that need notification. So I wouldn't blame you for just skipping it.
I don't like forcing my way through a game. I'm going to continue to give it a fair chance, but to say I'm going to play all 8 hours, I think would be crazy. I'm probably like 2 or 3 hours in. I'm probably like 3 hours in right now.
Yeah.
So that's Night in the Woods. More experiential of a game, I guess, but sort of lackluster. The other game that I played, and these are both kind of games from last week, but I played some more of They Are Billions.
How's that going?
It's good. It also has its faults, but it's a lot more. I can definitely feel like more obsessed with the game.
Nice.
I've put like 26 hours into it.
Did you complete a game yet?
No, it's so hard.
Oh, wow.
So here's something. I learned that you can upgrade shit.
Yeah.
So my guys.
I seen some plays. Like, yeah, I knew you could do that. So, you never upgrade your walls or anything like that?
No, I didn't. But it also depends on the situation. Sometimes you can just get by with wood walls, but when you're on like day 60,
yeah, you need some stone walls.
Yeah. So I'm dumb is the short and long of it. I discovered I discovered that like 5 days ago, and so my last couple playthroughs have been significantly better. But
so we can note that the tutorial's not that good since you never noticed that.
There is no tutorial. The tutorial is like, you'll figure it out. You've played an RTS before, and I'm like, no game, I haven't. Lead me. I don't know. I'm sure that there's still like significant things I'm missing from the game, but it's really frustrating that like when you lose in a game, you just have to start from zero. If there were check marks,
I see people save their game.
You can save it, but once you die, the game deletes itself.
Oh, it deletes itself.
And as like before and in the midst of a wave of zombies, it always saves. So you can't just like die and then quit out really quickly and come back. And also whenever you quit, you save as well. So you can't just like lock down the game or something. It makes sure that you can't jump around it. And that's kind of good and bad. I like that it kind of forces you to
stick with your choices.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really pussyfoot it or half-ass it. And that's cool, but at the same time, when you're playing a campaign that's 4 or 5 hours long, I mean, even if they had to limit like 1, 2, 3 saves a game, like I think that those would be crucial because there's so much downtime of starting up a new map, and it's getting to the point where I'll start a game, I'll load it up, I'll see the intro area and be like, I just don't like this. I don't like there was one map that I had like 6 trees next to me and others that I've had full forests, and then I'm like just scavenging for wood the entire game. And like because you need resources, it spreads you thin. Like it really depends on your initial setup. There was one, the highest I got to, I had this natural rock and forest like perimeter that was blocked like 3 of the 4 like direction, like north, south, east, and then like they could only come in through the west or something, and like that was awesome. It wasn't like a perfectly like everything was tight, but there were like small little corridors that I could build tight walls in and shit. And like it's so obvious that like one setup is going to help you more than the other, and it's also equally infuriating because it just takes forever to get through the game.
And so I'm guessing, is it just randomly generated or?
Yeah.
Okay, well that kind of sucks. It'd be nice if they showed you like they allowed you to pick your levels, just so then and each level will be more. I thought that you get the chance to pick your levels, and that each level got harder because there was less natural defenses to use and all that stuff.
There are like different modes and other challenges that you can play, but you have to unlock it by beating this first one, and it's so hard. I mean, once again, I've played 26 or something hours, and I haven't even beat the first level.
26 hours, damn.
I know. It's once again, I like to give games a very fair chance, and
When have you been playing this game? Like every day, or something like that?
About every day. I really like it.
Nice.
It's fun, but yeah, it's also just like there are these really big issues with it that I can't get over. So there's that. Night in the Woods and They Are Billions. They both have their flaws, but whatever. At a certain point, I think I might just like Night in the Woods. I might not make it through, and I might drop it. They Are Billions. It's kind of a game that you just have to decide, like, okay, I'm done playing this. It doesn't have a definitive start or end. It's like StarCraft. Like, you just kind of play until you get bored. And I'm trying to also determine when that is, because I gotta, continue moving forward with other games and stuff. There's other crap that I want to play and get around to. Zelda.
Yeah, get back on that train again.
Aside from games, I watched the It movie again, as we were talking about the last couple weeks.
Nice.
And you were out of town, but I rented it. Got the Blu-ray, checked out the bonus features and stuff, and I mean, it's all right.
Lackluster, really?
Yeah, I kind of, as stupid as it is, I kind of want to see a movie with a commentary. Like, it'd be cool to hear.
I like those a lot, actually. They're really fun.
Yeah, I think, like, when people reminisce about shooting a certain scene, like, that's where all the kind of the interesting stories come out. The other stuff that they have in the bonus features was, like, it was like they had this almost summer camp-ish kind of situation where they had the kids come and hang out and, like, learn their lines together, but mainly just to, like, build up their friendship so it wasn't it was like method acting, but so they were actually friends, and like that was cool. But once again, I mean, it would just be cool to see more, I guess. It seems like
my favorite one was Alien. They had the director was doing it, and usually it's my favorite when the director does it instead of actors, because a lot of times people like try to say, all these deep meanings and stuff are in this design, all that stuff, and then like I love hearing then from directors like, yeah, it just looked cool, so I just went with it.
Yeah.
It's because you always get these people that read too much of things in books, and when I always laugh my butt off when they finally ask the author or the director, and they'll go like, yeah, it was just some random shit, really, I didn't give a fuck. And people like make the biggest things out of it, and I'm like, it just makes me laugh every time. I love it.
I'm sure that he was really high one night, the director, and he was like, I want this cheeseburger, but I also want this slice of pizza, and I want to eat them at the same time. And then, like, his stoner buddy Dave on the couch is like, what if you had 2 mouths? And the guy's like, oh, alien idea. Dude, you should have a mouth in your mouth and eat the pizza and the burgers. Jesus. Oh. Stoner couch Dave, you're the best.
That That's what I do.
Yeah. So I watched it and I watched the special features.
What type of special features did they have?
So it was the kids all getting together. It was Stephen King kind of talking about the book It and his inspirations, and that was kind of cool. He said he was 30 when he wrote it, which, I mean, the book is fucking huge. If anyone's seen it, I'm sure he was writing it for a couple years. Yeah. It's crazy to think about, like, the age that I am and the age that Stephen King was at and be like, wow, what am I doing?
Oh, no. I mean, he did write a giant orgy scene, though, in the book of kids just banging each other in the sewers. But hey.
I mean, who hasn't been in a sewer orgy, Mike?
All right, that's true. I'll give you that one.
And it's the best kind of ratio, 6 boys and 1 girl.
I was like, people like trying to defend him. I'm like, I don't care who you are. He was fucked up during that time. It's like, oh, everyone thought that way. I'm like, no one thought that way.
No, I was reading about it, and Stephen King actually said, like, I'm astounded that people are so upset about the fact that these kids, you know, have this sexual experience. And at the same time, you know, one chapter back, like, 4 kids got murdered and, like, horribly detailed and stuff. And he has a point, but at the same time, I think that's also just ignorant for him to think
it's a monster eating children. That's fine, but just like having them just like, oh, now they must have sex with each other to show adulthood. No, you don't. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm unwilling to commit to being so against it until I've read the book, because I guess the context really matters. I would assume.
They said that after defeating it, that they couldn't escape it until they became adults. And so that's how they became adults, by just fucking each other. And I'm like, that doesn't make you an adult.
You a man now.
Yeah, and that doesn't make you a woman either. Just like a man or a woman.
You're not a woman until you've had 6 dicks at the same time.
And saying, like, hey, Stephen King makes some good stuff, but hey, you can make bad mistakes too, my friend. That was one of your bad mistakes.
Yeah, no, it's starting to slowly sound like he wrote this shit, and then it came out, and everyone had the issue, and he's like, you just gotta own it, and he walks into all the stores, he's like, yeah, no, that was a good decision. I loved writing that scene.
It was my favorite part of the book.
Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta own it, Mike.
It's like, even the smartest people have just bad days. And that was one of his bad days.
He was like, how can I possibly be more edgy?
Honestly,
kids fuck each other.
It's not fully his fault either. I also blame the editor, too, who just read that. It was like, okay, this is good. this will be fine.
Stoner Dave on the couch has had some good ideas, and he's had some really bad ideas.
Yeah.
What if there was a mouth in your mouth? Okay, what do you got next for us, Stoner Dave? What if all the kids, like, fucked? Yes!
Bravo! And then the next day he's like, maybe we should take all of his ideas when we're high, too. We should probably record some of these so that we get
let's record some of this shit.
So
Stoner Dave also wants to get paid in McDonald's fries, so I don't know if we should be listening to him.
But he does have some really good shit, though.
Oh, man. So, yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I watched it. Played Night in the Woods, and They Are Billions. And in general, the week has been kind of mediocre for me. My car died, and I had to have some huge replacements on it, so I've just been kind of a lazy pile of shit for a while.
Yeah.
I went to the gym. Like, I haven't been to the gym in a while. And then I went on Monday, and the cute girl at the front, she was like, oh, you know, I thought you were one of those people that is just gonna like come here for, you know, the beginning of the year and stop. And I was like, nope, I'm here for good. And then my car died the next day, and I haven't been there for another week. I'm sure that she's like, what the fuck was that? Was that guy trying to impress me or something? Yeah, don't worry, I work out all the time.
Never show up again. He's like, well, he probably had a heart attack.
Probably. I've been eating so much fucking pizza because I haven't been able to go anywhere. That wasn't really going anywhere. I just am like, I'm hungover, and there's a lot of pity going on right now. Anyway, we can move on to our top 5.
All right, sweet.
Solid transition. Top 5 party games.
I think I started last time, so it's your turn to start.
I don't know. I think that you make this up half the time. How do you keep track of who goes first each time?
Huh? Oh, because I just pulled it on my ass.
I was gonna say, I'm sure that
depending on my mood, I was like, oh, I'll go first, man. If I'm not in the mood to go first, you go first.
I was gonna say, yeah. There's I'm sure that if someone recorded who went first one week or another, it'd be like Ben, Mike, Ben, Mike, Ben, Ben, Mike, Mike, Ben, Mike,
I
Mike,
like
Mike.
going first most of the time, so I usually like you going first.
Who went first last time? Fucking who knows. Alright, party games, top 5. From the sounds of it, the criteria was you play with at least 4 people, and it's like on one system or one... It's not like everyone brings over their laptop to play League of Legends, and that's a party game.
No, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
It has to be couch games.
Yeah. So my number 5 is WarioWare for the GameCube. I think it's called WarioWare.
It's called WarioWare Mega Party Games.
There's a couple of them.
Yeah, no, but the one that we played is WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games.
I feel like it's on your list because you kind of pulled that out of nowhere.
No, because it. Oh, well, yeah, it is on my list, but yeah,
okay.
That's the name. But no, that is the actual name though. And
I was like, we haven't played it in like 6 months, and you're gonna be like, it's Mega Party Games Inc. And I was like, okay, I guess
Mega Party Games. It's WarioWare Inc. Mega Party Games, and the S for games is a $sign for some reason, but it's Wario. He loves money, so I guess that's why he did it.
He liked the money.
That is on my list.
So that's my number 5. I liked it. It's a good game because it's really fast and kind of upbeat. It's kind of, they call them, it's like mini games, but they call them micro games. So it's something that you play for like 5 seconds and then it goes on to the next person. And it's just a really good series. It kind of sucks that they are through Nintendo, and Nintendo has had a really like sketchy last couple of systems. Like even the Wii, the motion controls were pretty untrustworthy. So this is for the most part a game series that has gone generally under the radar because each rendition of this series has been like on the Wii, on the Wii U, like somewhere on like the DS or something. Like although there's been 5 games, I've only played 1, and as much as I love that game, like I don't want to get one for the Wii. I don't want to get one for the Wii U. It just sounds like a fucking pain. So if you haven't played this game, not that whatever. I can consent to people like downloading emulators or whatever. Why should I not praise that? Is that illegal?
I don't know.
You know what? Getting an emulator isn't illegal. It's getting the games that are illegal, from what I'd heard. So you know what? I don't know. Let's not get into the legal issue of it. But if you haven't played it, find a way to get WarioWare either on your computer or on a GameCube and try it out because it's super fun.
It is a lot of fun.
But it's just a really fast game. It's just like it's like Mario Party, but without all the bullshit of the board and stuff. It's just one mini game after another. Sometimes you take turns, sometimes it's just one person, and then like score adds up on how you do it. And then as you do one game after another, it like speeds up faster. It's really good. Number 4 is a game that I was freaking obsessed with. But it was like with the correct group, and it kind of sucks. Like I can never re-experience this game because being a party game, you just have to have the right people for it. But this is Spelunky, and this game I played it. It's on Steam. I played it on PC, and we would just hook up all of our controllers to my my computer, and then just broadcast it onto the main screen.
That was not an easy game either.
Yeah, well, it's super fucking hard, but you can fuck around with everyone so much in that. It's great. There's so much. There's so much cooperation, but then there's also just a significant amount of just screwing over the other player.
Because I think only one person needs to make it. And then you all come back, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, when you die, you're a ghost, and then you can do flips, and you can also fuck with shit on the game. And being dead is almost equally as fun as being alive. So they did a good way of like making it seem. They did a good job with making death not feel like such a downer. Like if you threw a buddy off of a cliff and killed him, like it wasn't like shitty for that buddy. Like it was like, okay, now I'm gonna try to fuck you over as this ghost the whole time. It was fun. So, and pretty much that game is a roguelike game where you just kind of have to keep moving downwards, and it's like super impossible to get all the way to the bottom. I think I've only gotten to like level 3 or something, but when you're like with a group of friends and you're trying to fuck each other over, like it's never going to happen. Especially when you're like drinking or something like that. It's impossible to play with a group that's not paying attention or not trying, but it's also equally super fun. Number 3 is a game that I recently played, and it just kind of stuck with me once again. Right game, right group, and also one of my favorite VR experiences thus far is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes.
That would be on your list.
Yeah. Really good game. I didn't try to put too many N64 games on this list because I felt like N64 is such a... Like, I don't know why, but N64, there's so many 4-player games that I felt like we could almost do a separate episode for N64, but at the same time, I mean, like, I'm not, like, I still do have an N64 game on here, and I'm definitely going to honorably mention one or two of them, but it's, I think a lot of those games also, as we mentioned, like GoldenEye, a lot of them haven't aged the best. So that's kind of why I don't have too many N64 games on here. But Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, we've talked about it before, so I'll just give a really brief rundown. The person in the VR headset has a bomb and a bunch of puzzles and modules and shit like that, and they're the only one that can see it. Everyone else outside of the VR headset on the computer screen is an instruction manual, and you have to kind of help each other out to figure out, I've got a red wire, a green wire, okay, cut the red wire, and etc., etc. And it's all a race against the clock. It's super fun. So those are my lower 3 are WarioWare for the GameCube, Spelunky for Steam, and Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes for VR, but you can also play it in non-VR as well.
Yeah.
So, Mike, what about yours?
So mine... Sorry, excuse me. The way I pick my games for party games is I picked the ones that were actually good to have at parties, and then 2, that anyone can actually play no matter their experience. So that's how I help make my own list and all that stuff. So that's what my list is based off. It's just not only it's a fun game to play, but it's also a game that anyone can play, and no matter what their experience with the game is. And then also it is actually good just to have at a party too. This is just my own criteria to make my list.
Sure.
But so this is why this is on the bottom of the list, and I really couldn't think. I had kind of issues thinking of other games, so it kind of just popped on the list. But Mario Party is on the list because it's a great game, but some of the mini games are kind of you need some actually actually the mini games are great for everyone. The main problem is though is that it's a board game, so you have to do like 20, so only 4 people can play at a time, which is the downside of it. And you're playing 20 rounds in. But Mario Party is still a great game for to sit down for just 4 people, and it's everyone knows Mario Party.
What Mario Party do you think is your favorite?
You know what, I can't tell you because it's been such a long time since I played Mario Party, and I know that there are actually bad ones out there. I played one of the bad ones. I forgot which one it was, because they're not all great.
All Mario Parties are not created equal.
No, they're not. But I think the beginning ones I liked a lot. The very first few I liked a lot. I remember I tried like the later ones and I just did not care for it at all.
Yeah. No, I agree.
That's why it's also on the bottom list too. Cause Mario Party is a good party game. It's in the game. They did a good job. But also it's like you have to... There's also a lot of bullshit too in the game board thing version, like when you play the game boards. And I didn't fully care for that. I just really like the mini games. The mini games are great.
Yep.
So a lot of times what I do is just load up the mini games and just play that with everyone else instead of the board games.
Yeah,
which kind of sucked because you have to unlock them by playing the board games in some of them, which is like, this is kind of BS.
Yeah. That was kind of annoying. I mean,
and that's why it's also lower on the list too. Because once again, it's great, but it's also not perfect either. But yeah, you were gonna say?
I was just gonna say that I totally understand that sentiment where you've got to unlock the games. That was always kind of annoying. I think that my favorite is the first one though.
Yeah.
They had this. I can't remember what it was, but there was this feature where you could unlock something and. See, now that I'm talking, I kind of regret talking because I can hardly remember it. But they had one element to the game that kept you coming back, and you could do it. And it was something that you could do solo. It wasn't something that you needed a party for. So it was you were like getting coins by playing the game and unlocking something. Maybe I can't remember, but
I know what you're talking about.
It was like in the main menu, it was like some additional feature to unlock something. And I remember all I did over and over again. Maybe it was like the time trials, or maybe it was like best time or something, but there was a reason to do something. There was a reason to play that game solo, even when you didn't have a group of 4 to play with, and that's what made number 1 like awesome. Yeah, I wish I could remember what that feature was. I want to look into that later on. But
yeah, so as like I said, it wasn't perfect, which is why, and it's also, you know, you only can play up to 4 people, and you have to sit through 20 rounds. You know, that's the, even though like I said, you can just play the party games. The main function was the board game.
Yeah.
So that's my number 5. My number 4 is Bomberman. I always loved playing Bomberman with everyone. It was such a fun game to play, and it's straight up easy to play. You didn't really. You drop bombs, or you know, and you pick up and you blow things up, and then you get like these upgrades, and the upgrades are pretty straightforward when you saw them, all that stuff. And it was fun because it's like each level was uniquely different, and each one had a different times up mode. When the clock ran out, all of a sudden like did like either be like falling meteors start hitting the map, or like the level started to slowly flood, or the level got narrow because lava was coming out from the left and right.
Yeah, you're
really
talking
cool.
about the N64 one, right?
Yeah, and yeah, it was just a great game to play.
Yep.
And then like in Spelunky, in Bomberman, if you died, you became a ghost, and you can fuck with other people by possessing them. You jump on them, and you have like you can take control of them and make them drop bombs and all that stuff, so you can just completely fuck someone over, which was fun. And like each round was really quickly, so you can trade out people easily and all that, and it was just good fun, and I really enjoyed it a lot. And but once again, that's all you could do though, which is why it's not higher on the list. It is just drop bombs and just or throw bombs at each other and all that stuff. That's it. But so that's why that's number 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 3 is, I don't know if you ever played this game, but it's called Fusion Frenzy.
I don't think so.
This was for the Xbox. Oh my god, it was. You play as realistic characters and all that stuff, but there were so many different mini games in it, and they were just all just based by points. You know, like, you know, you'd all compete with each other, and all the mini games were super fun too. And it was still challenging, but it was a challenging that like it was still that anyone can play it, and like all the mini games were super fun, and I played just non-stop with people. Like as soon as we had people over, it's like immediately played Fusion Frenzy. It was like Mario Party, but just like even better because they took out the bullshit game board thing.
Oh, wait. I think I remember the cover art of this game.
Yeah, you probably would.
Let me just type it in here. It's like a guy in a ball. Yeah.
Yep. It is really. It was a lot of fun. I absolutely loved the game.
Yeah.
I definitely need to and see if I can get that for the PC, and then if I can, I'm definitely like seeing if I can hook up controllers and all that stuff so we all can play together. Because I had a lot of fun. That game was a lot of fun. I don't remember much of the. Sadly, I don't remember much of the game modes in it because that was when I had the Xbox. That's when I played it, and that was a long time ago. But yeah, that was good for everyone. It was super fun, and so that was my number 3. What's your number 2?
My number 2 is the You Don't Know Jack Party Pack number 2. So this is a game that you play on your computer and you load it up, but it connects to the server, and then everyone has their phone as their controller. So like you type in answers and stuff, and I don't want to get into each specific game, but this specific party pack, the second one, just had a lot of really good, had a good group, I guess. There's 5 games total. The third one I heard is kind of dog shit. The first one's okay. The fourth one just came out. I thought I saw it was on sale today, actually, but supposedly that one's really good. There's like a monster dating game. They bring back some other stuff from previous versions. So yeah, I'm gonna look into the fourth one. So we'll see how that goes. But this is a game that, as you were saying, I mean, kind of anyone can pick up and play. Like, I think that's the reason why it's on my list, is it's just so easy for everyone to understand the concept, and everyone knows how to use a smartphone, so it's not like you have to teach them, like, press the A button to do that, and et cetera, et cetera. It's very much like a brain a brain teaser kind of game where you have to just like fool other players. There's not like there's no more strategy than just, you know, fooling people. Or I mean, yeah, there's no strategy where it's like hit this button at this exact moment. Things that people that don't normally play games would struggle with.
Yeah.
So that one always really, I thought, fit and worked really well. Is a good setting for it. What is really cool is that also they have a version that's on the Switch, and I was thinking that would be really fun to that would be a fun game to have on the Switch.
I didn't realize they had it for the Switch too. That's actually because I actually want to get that game, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have that one, so I should look into that.
Well, the Switch would be fun because you don't have to like bring your computer over to the TV to play. But on top of that too, I mean, you can play anywhere. Like I was thinking that would be kind of fun to play at a bar or something. Like just hook it up to the Wi-Fi, bring it out, just like be playing Fibbage at a bar and like ordering drinks and stuff.
Oh my god, that is such a smart idea.
Right? That would be good.
And like you don't even need to bring your controllers. You just need to bring the screen because the screen has its own kickstand too.
Yeah, exactly. Like
oh my god. That is such a good idea.
Yeah, I thought that would be fun. Yeah, I mean, You Don't Know Jack Party Pack 2 is my number 2.
Yeah, you know, honestly, that kind of escaped my mind, but that should be an honorable mention that's an honorable mention for me because I need to look it up on the Switch. That's freaking genius.
I think the Party Pack 4 is the deal on the Switch right now, so I might look into that. And talking about it, I'm actually interested in trying it. I'm gonna pick up my Switch right now. Why don't you talk about your number 2?
My number 2 was Ben's number 5. That was Wario Inc. Mega Party Games.
I knew it was on your list.
Yeah, and the reason why it's so high out there because that game is good to play even when you're hammered. So it's a great game just to play, just drunk. There's nothing to it. The games are so short and random, and it's just stupid fun, and that's what it is. It's just stupid and fun. Yeah. And it's just great because they're so fast and quick. They're random, but since they're so short, there's no skill to it. You just have to act on it. So that just gets funnier and funnier the more you drink and all that stuff.
Man, think about that game on the Switch.
Oh, I wish.
I know that they're remaking a couple things. Oh yeah, here it is. Jackbox Party Pack 4. It's $5 off at 20.
Oh wow, that's actually a really good price.
I might. I'm gonna do a quick review check on it, but I think I might get that.
That's actually a really good deal. But yeah, just Wario Inc. Mega Party Games. Like the sad thing is, like honestly, what Ben said too is like I don't know if it technically should be on this because like I don't know how you can really play it anymore. They should definitely bring it to the Nintendo Switch though, because that was just a fun game. And you just have to get an emulator to play on your PC because with the Wii controllers, it's just gonna suck. You need like a nice analog stick to play and all that stuff, but man, that was just fun. But that's my number 2.
Mm-hmm. All right, off to number 1. My number 1, and this, I call it Mario Kart, but it is Mario Kart.
Mario Kart 8's on my number 1 too. Mostly the reason why it got kicked up to number 1 is that my girlfriend picked it up right away. She's never played any games at all, but she picked up Mario Kart 8 and just played it and it had no issues at all. They have a great assistant driving thing that works wonderful that helps any type of person get adjusted to the game easily, and it's just fun. And you can play Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's. When I had that in mind, I was thinking more the N64 version. Mario Kart 8 is really good, but there's just something about fucking with tradition, and I feel like Mario Kart. I feel like Mario Kart is best played on N64. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, the roads are not that as crazy.
Yeah, it's not that Mario Kart 8 is, like, overly complex anymore, but, I mean, having as little complexity as possible in a game where you're, like, drinking
yeah, that's
is
true.
the best. So I guess to be official, I'll say Mario Kart 64 is my number 1. But really, I mean, it's Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's Mario Kart. We all know. But that is true. I totally agree with the whole thing that simpler is better. I mean, that's why Wario made it so high up on the list.
Mm-hmm. So to run through that list again, number 5 is WarioWare, number 4 is Spelunky, number 3 is Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes, number 4 is the You Don't Know Jack Party Pack, number 2, and number 1 is Mario Kart 64 for me.
Mine is Mario Party, Bomberman, Fusion Frenzy, and then WarioWare, then Mario Kart 8. I have an honorable mention of Sony's VR because it comes when you get the Sony VR, it comes with these mini games.
That's a good one.
Those were really fun with a group of people, honestly, because we only played a short amount, but I had a blast, and they're really good with just playing with a group of people.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Those were really good.
And I just thought that should be mentioned.
I've got a couple honorable mentions, more or less things that stuck out to me. For starters, I think that someone's gonna have a problem with this list if the fact that Mike and I, neither of us put down a Super Smash Bros. Game.
Yeah, but like I said, mine was that anyone can enjoy and play. I mean, you can get your butt handed to you very easily in Super Smash. That's why it didn't end up on my list.
Yeah, that was my same reasoning too. Is any competitive games are really hard to do well because you're gonna have, like, if you're playing Street Fighter with a group, one person's gonna be having a good time and everyone else is gonna be like, "Wow, I suck at this game. I already knew that," you know.
Yeah, with these, that's why it wasn't on my list.
A real honorable mention is, so Diddy Kong Racing wasn't on the list because Mario Kart was. I thought that they were too similar, but it's a really good game. Overcooked is good, but at the same time, it also is really hard to get into, and it's like nerve-wracking. It's fun, but it's very nerve-wracking. The one game that I do think is the most honorable of an honorable mention, though, is Super Mario Strikers for the GameCube. And actually the Wii one is really good too.
What was that one? I don't know that one.
Actually, I think I prefer the Wii one, but Super Mario Strikers is the Mario soccer game.
Oh, right. I like the Mega Man one better, but the Mario's good too.
Yeah. I don't really play a lot of sports games, but
I forgot about that. That was a lot of fun.
They do a good job of, like,
that one was actually, the computer's actually good in that game too.
Yeah, the computer fucking cheats. I'm certain. So let's see, did I have anything else? Yeah, Super Mario Strikers and Diddy Kong Racing, definitely they deserve to be on that list, but in a top 5 sometimes you gotta cut some things. Yeah. So they're good, but didn't quite make it. Okay, moving on to this week's topic. I kind of wanted to chat about zombies because I was reading up something where someone was saying, I think it was like a Reddit thread where someone was saying that, I'm tired of zombies. I just, like, is there anything else that we can do? Like, why does everyone always default to zombies? What are your guys' thoughts? Zombies, to me, feel like almost the Mario genre of, like, we can put zombies in anything and it'll make the game more interesting. Like, we can put Mario in anything and it'll make that game better, you know?
Yeah.
I guess I should start off and say I don't mind when games put zombies in them. I mean, some of my favorite games, Nazi Zombies, I don't want to talk for hours about that, but we've said it before, it's my favorite game. Other than that, Mike and I played 7 Days to Die last year. I mean, that was it's a crafting game with zombie elements. Like,
I mean, Minecraft has zombies in it too.
Yeah, and I think that the nice thing about zombies is that they are like this slow, creeping. It's not anything that's like jumping out at you or something. It's like zombies are just like a really slow-paced enemy, and it works for so many applications.
They're a great starter conflict in any game, honestly. Because like you said, they're slow, but there's many of them, but they're just slow and easy to handle, but they can still get you. So it's always something that keeps you on your toes a little bit.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, zombies can't use weapons or anything. Like, there's a reason they're a really simple and easy enemy to code in games as well. All you do is just, like, have the zombie just chase after the enemy. You don't have to like code in like how to use a gun, how to like duck behind cover or anything. All a zombie does is just move towards the player.
And not even like they just stumble and they just basically do the same movement all the way to you, which makes sense because they're just zombies,
Yeah. So, but getting back to this article, it was an interesting read because I do understand that there is a huge surplus of games that have zombies in them lately, but at the same time, some of those are my favorite games, so I'm torn. Like, it would be cool if people tried different things, of course, but also to deny myself of, what could potentially be the next, like, 7 Days to Die or Minecraft or Nazi Zombies. I mean, it's tough to... Like, I think we need an enemy similar to a zombie that's slow moving, that's not a huge threat on its own but can build up. Like, we need something to replace the zombie. I don't think that we need games to to get rid of zombies completely. We just need to diversify it.
Yeah. The question is, though, just like, what would it be, though?
Yeah. But it's like if you took slasher films and, like, instead of like Freddy and Jason and all these other guys, like, it's the same thing as saying, like, if there was only one slasher that ever existed for all slasher films, and someone was like, we just need a new slasher, you know, we need someone, like, we need a knife-wielding guy coming after these people. Like, I think as a general idea, we need a new zombie. Because, yeah, I think that's a good analogy, it's like if all slasher films were just the same dude. It's like those movies would still be good, but it's like, goddamn, Jason's been busy this year.
Yeah, just, I don't know. It's like one of those things. It's just like, if you don't want to, like, there's also a lot of games that are coming out that don't have zombies in them too, and that's the thing. Like, it's just kind of a weird issue to have because there's even more games coming out than there ever has been, and yeah, sure, a lot of them have zombies, but you're not forced to buy those games. There's plenty of others, and I'm wondering what his main complaint was. Were there a lot of games he liked and he just didn't like it that there were zombies in it, or he just didn't like that a lot of games are coming out had zombies in them?
I think he's just tired of them. I think that the poster, that the OP was just tired with how many titles had zombies. I mean, it's like, think of like Western films in the 50s. Like, a lot of those Western films are great, but there's a part where you just reach saturation.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of superhero Marvel movies coming out right now are great, but at some point you're just like, goddamn, do something original. So I can see both sides. It's just, yeah. I get where he's coming from, but I also kind of disagree.
Yeah, it's just like, if zombies are going to work in it, it's going to make it a good game, I'm like, put it in there. I'm not tired of them. Mm-hmm. And it's like I can still play 7 Days to Die right now. I'd be totally done to play with it. And it's just like, zombies are just like, they've been around forever. They're just a good starting enemy, you know, most of the time. It's kind of hard for me. I also just don't understand his issue, just because after I start doing this with you and just trying to see upcoming games, there's thousands of games that just do not have zombies in them at all. And Ben is buying the thing right now.
Yep.
He's buying the party box thing.
I want to try it out. Jackbox Party Pack 4. I want to see it. Sorry, not to diverge the conversation.
No, it's fine. It's just like, I was kind of rambling anyways. But like, well, actually no, I wasn't. But like, my point is, like, I disagree with him. I don't think there's actually a lot of zombie games coming out there. And even if there's plenty of others that are coming out that don't have zombies in them. I don't see it at all. Because, like, I don't think he's ever looked up upcoming game releases on Steam and just seeing the buttload of games coming out. And they're all bad, but a lot of them don't have zombies in them, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's so I just don't see the issue, honestly, in my opinion. But that's just me. I think the guy is just overreacting. I think he's just tired of people asking for zombie modes, or in like Call of Duty or something. But I mean, you should always have zombie mode in Call of Duty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of, and this is a weird way to put it, I'm trying to think of the worst zombie games I've played, because we always talk about the best zombie games that we've played, but like, what are ones that you're like, wow, why?
Dead Island.
Yeah, okay,
that was bad.
I never played it personally. Like, what was actually wrong with it?
Well, so it just became going back and forth fetch missions. And then right afterwards, like, I played a lot with my brother. We beat the first one. We had a fun time still doing it, but it's also not the best one, because every single time you came back, when you loaded up back in another area, zombies spawned in the exact same spot they were always in, every single time. So it's like, you knew when the zombies were like, oh, I'll go up here, the zombie's gonna walk out of this bush every single time, and it was just really bad programming, honestly. What they should do is that zombies be in random spots when you go into an area, because like after that, you just kept on, it just became a fetch mission of just walking around zombies, you know? And it just didn't turn out interesting in the end. The only thing that made it fun was just playing with another person. Playing by myself, I'd be bored out of my damn mind.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing to it. A good one I keep on forgetting about is, what's the one when you play as a reporter and you're in the mall?
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Dead Rising.
Dead Rising, that was a good one. Because that introduced an interesting, they based it off of all of time, and so I thought that was really cool. That, like, you only can do certain things at a time period, and there was, like, the time was counting down and all that stuff, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah.
And the mall, like the level is like really awesomely well designed too. Like one of my biggest complaints on the first one was the prison, the prisoners that broke out of prison and who had like a military Humvee, because like every single time you killed them, they would still come back, which was super annoying. So they just like they blocked off the whole open courtyard area outside the mall. It's like, well, what the hell? I killed these guys already. I shouldn't have to see them ever again. And they were just a nuisance. That was like one of my only one. And also the freaking guy that calls you up. It's like, hey, you need to do this. Hey, you need to do this. I absolutely loved it when they enter. There's like a mode you can get, and then you can kill him in the game mode. And like you have to kill like all the survivors. I forgot what the thing was. But like he's the first person you kill. I just kept on killing him over and over and over again. It felt so good. They fixed it though in the second one.
I never played that game.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. The just customizing your character and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It was good.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a game that's bad because it included zombies. Like, to say that Dead Island was bad, it's just a bad game. But to say that Dead Island would have been better without zombies is a whole other thing. Yeah. It wouldn't have made any goddamn sense.
Yeah, it's called Dead Island. It's meant to be about zombies. Great premise, but just poorly executed.
I'm trying to think of what other games were not that great with zombies. It's... Sorry, I don't mean to like put us on the spot here. It's definitely... Like, I can't think of too many. Like, it sucks that zombies are saturated, but at the same time, like we said before, like they're Red
Dead Revolver, holy crap, when they added zombies, that DLC, that was great.
Yeah. It just... I don't know. It was an interesting read, this article, but I think that a lot of the games that do have zombies are really good. I think that there's other... what would you call it? Like other genres that desperately need a makeover, but in terms of the zombie genre, I mean, I think that zombies...
there is Train Simulator that adds zombies in it. I guess that'd be a bad one.
Okay, yep, sure. Well, actually, I don't know. If you're gonna be buying Train Simulator, which I don't have a problem if you like that, but I think that playing Train Simulator and then playing Train Simulator with zombies...
That's true.
Sounds like it could be an upgrade. Like, yeah, I kind of want to see.
I kind of do want to see that and actually play it.
Like, are the zombies the commuters, or like, are you escaping them?
I have no idea. All I know is that there was Train Simulator with zombies all of a sudden DLC. I'm like, okay.
The conductor's just like brains, just plowing through.
Let's see, Train Simulator. Oops.
Dead air. No, I don't think it's even matters to look it up too much. Plus, Train Simulator has like a million fucking DLCs online if you've ever seen it. It's crazy. I don't know. Zombie games in general, though. I'm trying to think about what else to talk to them. What else to talk about them. There's like fast zombies, slow zombies. Actually, okay, while we're on this subject, I may as well sneak this in right now, because we're desperately trying to fill time, because clearly we're hungover and like not doing a good job this time. I did hear that they were possibly teasing Left 4 Dead 3. Did you hear about that, Mike?
Left 4 Dead 3? No, I did not.
Yeah, so I guess if you go to their website right now, or like some...
God, Left 4 Dead's such a good game.
Yeah, let me see here. But they have like some art. Yeah, they have some art here that looks like very much like it's Left 4 Dead 3, you know? It looks
Left 4 Dead 3 ARG is a hoax.
Is that what the article read? No! I'm unwilling for someone to make that claim right now. Fuck, it was an hour ago? That's when this was posted? God damn it. Fuck. Why do we have to be live? I want to read this right now. I'll save it for later. Well, let me just fill our podcast with bullshit. Well, actually, it'd be like every other episode.
Way to go, Ben. Nice.
Let me just lie to everyone's...
Just throwing out fake news out there.
Yep. Fake news, fake media, fake podcast. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't really have too much more to talk about zombies. I just...
Yeah.
I like zombies.
I like
Long
zombies
story
too.
short.
I think the guy's bullshit is just I think he's just complaining about really nothing in the end, because Like I said, he should honestly just look on the store's Steam store page and hit upcoming games and see how many games that have like no zombies in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking through here, and through actually the whole entire list, there was not a single zombie game at all. So I don't really know what he's talking about.
Yeah. And actually, zombies lately, they've been, it's been, like you said, you said Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Like, I think zombies are cool and easy to, like, throw into additional games, even if they don't belong in that game. I think it is kind of,
I mean, it was just a DLC, so like it didn't affect the main game at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's cool that zombies can just casually be thrown into other shit, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, no one really does. People always take zombies and throw it in as like a DLC or like as a joke or something. I mean, that's what Nazi Zombies is. It's just an add-on to Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty is not a zombie game, but obviously they threw it in.
And
it's
always
a huge
DLC,
success.
and you're never forced to play it. So like, I don't see what the issue is.
Yeah, but it would be kind of cool if they did try something else. Like, you know, game developers did. If they were going to add a bonus feature to a game, if they did try something other than zombies. But at the same time, I don't have an issue. Pretty much more content is better. That's all I'm going to leave it at. Zombies are not just... If you're going to add an additional game mode to a game, I'm totally fine with that.
For sure. I'm with you too.
All right. Well... So, we can move to games coming out here. If we're done with that, it sounded like we were. So, I had a couple games. Did you find a couple?
Yeah, I did. I found, one of them was a game for Half-Life, actually. I think it's someone that just made it, but it's called Hunt Down the Freeman. And so, it's actually Freeman and not Freeman. It's supposed to be just like a spin on words. But yeah, that's coming out February 15th, and so it looks like you played another story of another character. But here's the thing. Here's the description. Just another mission, or so you thought. Until aliens from another dimension start invading Earth before a scientist with a crowbar hospitalizes you after wiping out your entire squad. Just when you thought you were finished, a man with a briefcase offers you a chance for another beginning. So it looks like you're a guy that was in the first game of Half-Life that was hunting down Freeman. He knocks you out, and then you actually stay alive. And so it looks like the objective is that you're just trying to hunt down where he's at. And it looks really good, though. The graphic looks great. The gameplay looks good. And it's something I'm definitely going to give a go. It's got, like, Half-Life graphics to it.
All right.
So I'm pretty excited for it. It comes out February 15th. I'm definitely going to give it a play because I just really enjoy Half-Life story and just the style of gameplay it has. But yeah, that's one of them. And like I said, it was February 15th. And then there's another game that looked interesting. It's called Far Out. It's 4-out. And then that one's coming out in February 17th. And then here's a description of this one. You were lucky to stay alive, but will you survive? Far Out is a hardcore first-person adventure with a dynamically changing gameplay and multiple endings. So you wake up on a spaceship, and you're the only survivor, and so... basically you're just trying to survive and wait out or seek out help. And so that's the whole point of the game. And it looks like there's a lot of events that happen. The graphics look great.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, so this one, it's single player, and I'm really excited. It kind of reminds me of Alien a bit, just like with the ship design. Lots of buttons, all that stuff. I don't know if there's aliens or not, but it seems like a fun game to play. Just try and survive in a ship that's only you. And I like the multiple endings too to it. So that means that there's multiple things you can do to survive or beat the game, which I like. And then so that one's Far Out. That comes out February 17th. I don't want to open you up, Spotify. Fuck off. The last one was I brought up before. It's Fan Porlog. That's that back and forth just 2D survival game. It's supposed to be free to play. They've been keep on pushing it back. It's actually supposed to come out next Monday, the February 19th. So then, but that's
we'll see.
Yeah, I know exactly. And that's my list so far.
Okay. So I've got a couple games. One is Dead Maze, and the summary is Dead Maze is a 2D MMO game set in a destroyed contemporary world filled with zombies. Go figure. Of course, this is pretty fitting. Explore the world, scavenge, and craft as many items as possible. To survive the hostile environment, you have to upgrade your gear and camp as you go. So this game, I'm not really a big fan of the graphics. It looks like Farmville.
Yeah.
But the idea seems cool. Pretty much it's just a big MMO where everyone's running around and killing zombies and shit, and it's like 2D isometric, but I think it looks decent, but at the same time I'm very cautious about it. It looks really I can't tell if it's either polished or or if it's just supposed to kind of look that way.
It's supposed to look this way. I have a game that looks exactly like this, but this one is more developed actually. Let's see. Do I have the game still up on here? Downloaded?
But that comes out February 13th.
I don't have it on my phone. I mean, the game still.
And yeah,
it looks interesting. I like the idea. Like you said, the graphics there are kind of.
I'm a little cautious about it.
Yeah.
The next game is called Bit Boom. So the summary is really short here, but it says the 8-bit first-person shooter for the NES palette. Pretty much this game looks like a Wolfenstein clone.
Yeah.
And so that means, you know, you move around a 3D environment, you have the gun in front of you, and you just kind of shoot and whatnot. I don't know how long or how much like the game's gonna get you in terms of money. Like the trailer's really short, the summary's really short. This game might just be like not worth the amount of content that it's gonna offer.
Yeah.
That's the impression that I'm getting. But otherwise, I mean, it looks kind of fun. It looks like a simple, basic shooter game. Like I said, just Wolfenstein. You collect ammo, you collect health, you shoot everything in the area, and it's just like simple moving mechanics and stuff. So that's Bit Boom. That comes out February 13th. Moving on. This is one that caught me by surprise, but The Secret of Mana. So for anyone familiar, I didn't play this game originally, but this is a remake. So this game is by Square Enix, obviously a pretty big name in games. It's coming out February 15th. The summary is the memorable adventure of Randy, Prim, and Popoy is reborn as Secret of Mana. Originally released in 1993, The Secret of Mana is by far the most popular title in the Mana series and has now undergone the much-awaited full 3D remake. So pretty much it is a remake. It's an RPG. I get the impression of like a Chrono Cross kind of RPG. I couldn't tell you because I didn't play the original. I'm sure that there are people that know it a lot better than I do. But I thought that was pretty interesting. Like I've heard nothing but good stuff about this game, and to make a full 3D remake, and it looks really good. I mean, it doesn't look like the graphics aren't incredible. The graphics look like they're Nintendo DS-ish kind of graphics. But it's $40. And Square Enix, I'm sure that you're going to get your money's worth. This game really does look that great. If you're looking to invest into an RPG, I don't know if I'm willing to do that right now personally, but
yeah,
I don't think you can go wrong with it. Obviously,
so
this
it's going
game
on Steam, PS4, PS Vita, and then it's something that could be a really fun game on the Switch.
Yeah, no, I agree. For some reason, the idea resonates with me that it looks like a DS game, like a portable kind of game. Yeah. So I do understand this. I could see playing this on the Switch.
I'd pick it up, but if not, no. Like I don't have a Vita or a PS4. It's something I probably wouldn't be comfortable just playing off of my computer.
Yeah, definitely those RPG games. I mean, I can play. It's weird. I can sit at my computer and play, you know, this game or that game for super long. You know, I can play They Are Billions for 26 hours in the last week. But to play an RPG at my computer, it doesn't feel right. I feel like I need to have like a controller in my hand. I need to be like on a couch,
more relaxed position.
Yeah, and
that's not because they're leisure. Like, you know, like RPGs are really strategy and take games. They're not easy, but they're kind of like a leisure game too at the same time. You know, it's because it's turn-based, so you just kind of want to just sit and relax.
Yeah, there's a lot of downtime in them for sure.
Yeah.
So, that's The Secret of Mana, and I would like to eventually get around to it. Actually, I'll put it on my wish list, but I'm sure it definitely seems like it's going to be worth someone's money. I mean, once again, it's a remake, meaning that the game did well enough that, you know, it came out in 1993, so almost 30 years later that they're
Yeah.
that they expect to make a profit. So I'm sure that you can't go wrong by buying that. Oh, and I guess that's it. So I just had those 3 games then. So those were Dead Maze, Bit Boom, and Secret of Mana, and those are all coming out on Steam.
Funny thing is, I was typing in, will Secret of Mana be coming to the Switch, and it autofilled. That was like the number top search thing for it.
Nice. Let's see. I'm just gonna also double check to see if there's any AAA games coming out in February here. But other than that, as I'm looking that up, our next week's top 5 is going to be the biggest letdowns in games.
Yeah.
So what we decided is games that you own, that you bought at some point, and it just fucking sucked. Like, you can't say, like, No Man's Sky if you didn't buy it or anything.
Yeah.
It has to be, like, a game that you actually put the money towards.
Yeah, something that we
and you're
paid.
like, wow, I hate this, you know?
It's like, this is a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I got a few on my Steam.
I'm a cautious game buyer, but there are some, like, humble bundles that I've tried. Can we include that? I mean, sometimes games just come with things. We don't need to if you don't want to.
It's something, I think it should be something that you literally bought, though, because you saw it and you wanted to buy it. So it was in the humble bundle, and you got the humble bundle because one of the reasons that it was there, then yes.
Okay.
But if it was there and you didn't get it because it was there, but you got it for the other games, then no.
Okay.
At least in my opinion, yeah, because these are just, like, regret buys.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. It's not
Unless it made you regret getting the whole entire Humble Bundle deal, then you can include it. But
yeah, like if you bought the Humble Bundle specifically for that game, and it was dog shit.
Or if it was also, like, even if you got it for that and others, as long as you got it for that too, then yes.
Okay, I'm pretty excited about that one. We've always done a positive top 5, like a top 5 best this or best that. We've never done top 5 worst something.
Yeah.
And you know, people, for the most part...
I snuck that one in with the controllers.
Yeah, and that was funny.
It was.
I still laugh about our, like, little GameCube rant. I mean, that controller... We don't need to get into it again, but it was funny.
I like that one, yeah, too.
It is fun to rip on stuff. It's good to point out the good in games, but at the same time, I mean... Hell, we can't code, so we criticize, and we're not doing enough criticizing from the sounds of it. So, AAA games that are coming out... It doesn't look like there's anything... that's like super big coming out. There's a lot of games that are coming out for the Switch that have already been released. For example, they do mention Bayonetta 2, they mention Secret of Mana, they mention Owlboy. Like, all those are games coming out for the Switch. But let's see, before I say this, I just want to make sure I'm getting it right here, because this game could be big if I'm thinking of the right one. Nope. So the game coming out is called Long Gone Days, and I thought it was something else. I think it's like Days Long Gone or something. I was thinking, I don't know. But I was just making sure that wasn't the game coming out. This one actually looks decent though. Long Gone Days.
What's this supposed to be?
I can look into it really quickly. I mean, this is easily going to be like our shortest episode because we just blew through everything. So to fill some time, sure. Long Gone Days is an upcoming dystopian role-playing video game for Windows and OS X and Linux, being developed by Burra. The original demo was written and developed and illustrated by Camilla Gormez. This doesn't explain too much. Okay, here's the plot. Long Gone Days takes place on Earth during the present time. It's in an unofficial country named the Core, whose exact location is unknown. In this place, every individual is trained from birth for their job, so that they can become experts by the time they become an adult. The main character of the story, Rourke, is a military sniper who has never visited the surface. He's chosen as a last-minute replacement for an operation to aid the Polish forces in Kaliningrad. Without much time to review the briefing. It actually looks kind of cool. It's kind of a pixel artish graphic style, and for a game that I just kind of found online and pulled out of my ass in the last 5 minutes, it actually looks pretty decent. So I'm gonna look into that more. A lot of stuff that just, like, in the moment of this podcast, I was like, oh, I want to see more of this, you know. But I want to read more of the Left 4 Dead article. I want to see about this this long gone days thing going on here. But
well, I mean, that's why we have all the social pages that I've been seriously lacking on. But you can read those and post up on there.
Yeah, I don't think we've had a single comment on those yet.
Yeah.
Because we're so cool. No, if anyone wants to say something, we'll love you forever.
What about
That would be a pretty big jump if someone actually did do a comment on anything.
Well, we have one guy one of our friends that listened to it that I'd like to bring him a comment. What do you think of the Super Nintendo controller? Because he commented on our last one when we talked about controllers. What do you think of that one?
In terms of just like if it's good or bad?
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's really bad.
I thought it was decent for what it was during its time, but
I'm thinking N64.
Yeah,
sorry,
Super Nintendo. The rectangle with the circle end, sort of. Just two triggers on top, thumb pad left. The buttons.
Yeah, I've got it in my closet there.
Yeah, the purple buttons.
It's fine.
Yeah.
I definitely
nothing really to write home about though, as well.
Well, I like. It was good in the sense that it incorporated the trigger buttons on the top, or I guess the bumpers on the top, the left and right. But I guess my big thing about it is that it didn't have wireless, and also it didn't have an analog stick, and that's just a product of the time that it came out. But I mean, at the end of
there was nothing to write home about in the end. First time, but nothing that really stuck out.
Yeah, it definitely added a bunch of stuff to games. I mean, the NES to the SNES. Like, there was two controllers on the NES, or two buttons on the NES. There's, now the 4-button layout on the right side on the SNES, plus the shoulder buttons on the top, whatever you want to call them. Like, there was definitely some huge strides towards that controller, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's just a product of time right now.
And there's also questioning, too, that if we should even include handheld games for controllers.
Yeah,
I can see that. But I think because technically it is probably one of the main functions of the Switch. I think, yeah, I would.
I could see it either way, honestly.
Yeah.
Handheld, I could go back and forth. We didn't specifically exclude it, so I kept it in.
The reason why I'm just including now is just so people can hear a different aspect from another person besides just us. It's kind of nice to do that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we don't want it to sound like an echo room here, so we don't want to constantly agree with each other. So it's always good to hear other opinions.
I always like when we disagree with each other. It makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, if we disagree too much, it's gonna be like, hey, welcome to We Can't Code. Mike is in here because he's a fucking asshole, and then we
disagree.
And I'm just gonna like do the podcast without you, or vice versa, or something.
I just look up on my YouTube feed and it's like, what the fuck is this podcast doing on here? Podcast 20. I'm like, we haven't done that yet.
Did we do a We Can't Code episode?
And why is it titled Michael's a Bitch?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of, let's see, was there anything else? Games I'll be playing this week. I'm going to keep trying Night in the Woods, see how it goes. I'll probably put like 2 more hours into it and decide if it's worth finishing or not. That game honestly might be on my list next week. I really had high expectations for Night in the Woods, and I had been planning on playing it since November is when I bought it. And so I really do want to keep giving it a shot, but we'll see. I'm going to continue to play They Are Billions, but I think I'm going to try like 1 or 2 more attempts at beating that first level, and if I can't, I'm going to take a little break because I got to move forward with something else. And then if I am done with those games, I'd like to go back to Zelda Breath of the Wild. So that's kind of my plan for next week. Mike, what do you think you'll be playing?
Tiny Metal, Breath of the Wild, and that's really it. Nothing really else. Tiny Metal is probably going to be on one of my disappointing lists too, because I was super excited for it, because it looked exactly like Advance Wars, and I love Advance Wars. It's one of my favorite, like I said 100 times over, my favorite RTS. It's not RTS, just a strategy game, because it's not real time. But yeah, I think that's it though, right? Anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank God, I need to get some food and sleep.
I know, I'm so fucking out of it. I apologize. I'll just straight up say this episode was kind of shit.
Yeah, I liked it still, but short, which is sucks. But let's just end it now. I'm done.
All right.
I want to go home.
God, get me to bed. I'm tired, man.
I just want to go home.